Mum, when did you start training at Barts?
I started in February 1956 at a preliminary training school. My maiden name was Henderson and my married name is Sarah Rosemary Haller, and my league number is 1789.
Okay, and what was your favourite ward when you were at Barts?
My favourite ward was Luke ward. It was medical, and it was a very gentle approach, and I prefer medical nursing.
So I trained at Barts between 1982 and 84, and I was one of the enrolled nurses, and I was taught by Miss Bavin. And the one thing that I can remember that she taught us, and the thing that enrolled nurses were taught to do, was to have real compassion for patients. There was no management with the enrolled nurses, it was just purely nursing care. And as much as I'm now an RGN and I've moved on, and I'm very pleased to have done so, my enrolled nursing was what really set me on the right road, and I am eternally thankful to Carol Bavin for everything that I am today with regards to my nursing care and my standards. Thank you, Miss Bavin.
A few words on today. Please will. It's been brilliant. Yeah. Thank you for a wonderful day. It's amazing to be part of this momentous year, 900 years of Barts. Really proud to be a Barts nurse and to have met best friends ever in our training when we started September 79, set 11.
I'm Debs. I started at Barts on the 12th of November in 1979. I was set 12. I absolutely loved it. I loved the history, I loved the course, I loved the people, and I even loved the uniform, trying to make my hat on the coffee tins. So I'm so pleased I did it, and I'm still really proud to have done my Barts training.
Bavin. I trained at Barts from 1955 to 1959. I then went to Australia to do my midwifery training, came back and worked in Kent, and then subsequently came back to Barts in 1962 and was a midwifery ward sister. So at that time I was meeting many nursing students coming through my hands, working on the ward. But then eventually I went in to be just one of the first clinical teachers that there was in the School of Nursing. and in that way I met many of these students, and that's why so many of them remember me today, whether that's good or bad. And then eventually in 1971 I was responsible for the pupil nurse training school and did that in fact until 1985. After that I went into looking at the standards, so I did the educational audits of all the wards and many other areas beyond then Barts Hospital in the community and the private hospitals, and then was teaching then a lot of clinical skills, which is then when I actually finished my work. So I was teaching then clinical skills both in the classroom and on the wards.
Yeah.
Today's been a fantastic day, a beautiful day with lots and lots of happy Barts nurses. I worked at Barts almost continuously for 34 years. It was a very special place and always will be.
Sorry, that is.
Hi, I'm Meryl. I started at Barts in 1971 and I really enjoyed the camaraderie and the feeling of working in the Centre of Excellence.
I'm Diane Tomlin and I qualified in March of 1983, and to me Barts means friendships, fun times, lots of cleaning, going around in the middle of the night with water jugs, and just having a really good time.
I've done mine. I'll come to the side. That's a bit spur of the moment, isn't it?
Hi, my name's Colette Marshall. I qualified in 1984 and I feel immensely proud and privileged to have been a Barts trained nurse, and I absolutely adored my training.
Barts is the most wonderful place to have done my training. It was the best apprenticeship you could ever imagine. Quality, friendly, professional, and it will stay with me all my life.
Hi, I'm Marie Bamwell. I was part of Set 96, started in August 1970. My favourite speciality was WG Grace, neurosurgery. It was where I did my drug round, part of our finals, but it also led me to a career in brain injury rehabilitation.
Hello, I'm Sue. I'm from Set 93. I chose Barts because in those days it was considered one of the best hospitals in the world. I spent over 30 years working at Barts and I loved every moment of it.
fondest memories of Barts are the friends that we made at Piggott's Manor. We still have, the 8 of us, and we still meet up, even though we're as far apart as Newcastle, Wales, Plymouth, Guildford, Winchester, etc. The others are matrons' balls at Gloucester House, Grosvenor House, walking through Smithfield Meat Market at midnight from a twilight shift as the theatre belt and the market was very alive. The excellent standard of nursing that we did have, we were brilliantly trained, and that's carried with us everywhere. And we do notice the difference in other hospitals. I think that was mainly it, yes.
Thank you very much.
Barts was special to me. It was my first time away from home. I made lots of friends. We cried a lot. We laughed a lot. We had good humour, but it got us through. And we've still got those friends 50 years later.
Thank you.
My name's Jo Carroll and I was in Set 17 and I qualified in 1984. And what Barts meant to me was a beginning of a new exciting life and learning lots of new things and being exposed to quite scary but people I was so awesome of. They were brilliant. And I learned so many things that have taken me through the rest of my nursing career, which has been fantastic, and without Barts I would not have had the career that I've had. Thank you, Barts.
I'm Eileen Griffiths. I qualified at Barts in 1960 when I was eyeing riches. I then was a sister on the neurosurgical unit known as W.G. Grace Ward. And I was there during the 850th anniversary of the hospital when we had a splendid year of celebrations, and it's nice now to be celebrating the 900th year today.
And I too was at Barts for the 850th in 1973, which was the year I qualified. My name is Hilary Matthews, I was Jones, and I worked as a student nurse with Eileen, which was lovely, and I worked all my qualified life on theatres, ending up as a cardiac theatre sister, and I left in 1980. And yes, it's very nice. Eileen and I live close by now, so the circle has completed.
Okay, Jack and Chips, or Spencer, Set 17. I think Barts gave us an incredible training, a grounding as a springboard to the rest of our career. And I think what stuck with me is it's patients first.
Hi, I'm Maud Campbell, was McKeever, Set 16, 1975 to 79. What I liked about Barts was the privilege of being there. I was thrilled to be chosen for training. It stood me in great stead all the years of my career. There's a foundation there that never leaves you, and I will always, always be thrilled and proud to be a Barts nurse.
Thank you.
ladies and gentlemen, just to inform you that afternoon tea is now available in the restaurant.
Yeah, of course I can.
So as I said, I'm Elizabeth Wooddow, I'm President, and I just want to welcome everybody on board today. This, as you know, is the culmination of our tea season to celebrate the 900th anniversary. I think most of the other teas have worked. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. I think most of the other teas have been in glorious weather, so I think this weather is giving us a clue that we should now stop doing afternoon tea. There are some thanks, and I want to do them now before we all disperse for afternoon tea downstairs. Firstly, I want to thank the exec committee. Quite a few of them are here today. I had this mad idea last year, and I think they thought I was completely bonkers to say that we would get anybody to turn up for tea on a boat. So it's lovely to see everybody here. And then there's some particular thanks to Jill Gillett, who Jill very kindly took on the ticketing of this event and then ended up basically being the main person to be the coordinator and organiser. So real thanks to Jill. I'd also like to thank Thames Luxury Cruises. We were first put in touch with them by a guy called Chris Livitt, who's the Royal Barge Master, and he put us in contact, and they've been great. And isn't this just a lovely vessel? It's just brilliant. And thank goodness for the roof. But there's also some other special people we'd like to thank. And firstly, Janice. Janice, where are you? Janice is our blue badge guide, and I think it's fair to say is a friend of the League. And any of you who've been on any of her walks will know how knowledgeable she is of everything around Barts. So well done, Janice, and we just have a very little present for her. I know from being on the walks that Janice likes her gin, but that's a very special gin because it's Barts Nurse's gin. Secondly, Michael. Those of you that don't know Michael, Michael is our printer. He prints the League News for us every year, and has done for years. So, Michael, just a token of our appreciation, thank you, because everybody here, you have printed their name. And lastly, Mark, who is our videographer. And whilst his work is not yet done, it seemed too good an opportunity to miss just to say thank you to Mark in advance. So again, Mark.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
The idea when we started having afternoon tea was just to get people together. And I don't think we necessarily thought we would get 900 nurses having tea. But I can tell you we've exceeded that by teas up and down the country in all sorts of venues. I've been to Chatsworth House, I've been to village halls, I've been to people's gardens, and everybody has said how great it is to get together. So thank you to everybody who organised a tea. And before you all have tea, just one little advert that we have another birthday next year. So whilst Barts is 900 years old, the League, we think we're the oldest in the country, will be 125 next year. So before we go past Westminster, or St Thomas's, just start thinking about how we might celebrate 125 years. But lovely to see you all, and please enjoy tea. And raise your glasses to, thank you darling, Barts Hospital, the Royal and Ancient.
I just remember the struggle of trying to work out how to fold a hat.
Tell me more about the hat. So it was always a Walker shortbread tin for me, and I've still got the tin, and it's my sewing tin now.
So can you tell me 3 things that are important in your time at Barts?
Yes. First, lifelong friendships. Second, the highest possible standards of patient care. And third, when you're putting your towels and sheets away, always have the fold to the front of the shelf.
I remember arriving at PTS at Piggott's Manor with a whole lot of others, and we went in and the fathers were told they were not allowed above the ground floor, so mothers and girls take the luggage up.
So I remember just coming down from Macclesfield on the day that the nurse training was starting, arriving into Queen Mary's nursing home I had my trunk in the black taxi, and the person from the nurses home came out to help me in, and just going up in this rickety lift.
On WG Grace, that was my first ward, Sister put me in the kitchen and said, I want you to make the egg sandwiches for the consultants' tea. She liked them, and what's more, the consultants liked them. I learned nothing about neurosurgery, but I learned how to make egg sandwiches.
We met in St Mary's sitting room, and our tutor read out a long list of names at register. I was quite near the end. My name began with W, and it was Miss, 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 and at the end she looked around the room and said, that's the last time we will call you Miss. From now on, you are nurse.
Barts was the key that opened the door to the rest of my life. A lot of things I've taken away professionally in terms of the standards of care, but one thing that really stays with me is the lifelong friendships that you make from those shared experiences when you're in Queen Mary Nurses Home.
My first ward, which was Harvey, and the sister there was so encouraging to all our student nurses, and I remember one particular occasion when I had been busy cleaning bedpans and getting it all up together, and she came down to the sluice, took a look round and said, doesn't this look beautifully tidy? And I felt about 10 feet tall.
The key thing that I took away was the word respect, and I've carried that throughout the whole of my career. It was really important, and that really came out in the way we respected the senior people and those that are around us, and even each other as colleagues.
My Barts interview, the weather was terrible. It was horrific, raining. I was absolutely soaked from head to toe, and I'd also managed to fall over, ladder my tights that I'd got on, and I thought, I'm never going to get it. That presentation is a 0. Anyway, I got into my training, and I'm a proud Barts nurse.
My first day at Barts is I arrived, my dad delivered me down there in the car. He parked in the square outside, and he said to me, if you don't like it, come home. I loved it.